So I was looking through a couple of deck lists the other day, just looking for something spicy to make a video on, and I came across something rather interesting. A cheap Blue Eyes deck. Which is kind of odd to say, as most of you guys probably know, Blue Eyes isn't typically known for being one of the cheaper deck lists in the game. To be fair, it's not exactly the most expensive deck list I've ever seen, but generally when you're spending that many gems, you're hoping to get something that doesn't exactly resemble your average Dyson. It fucking sucks. So when it comes to building a Blue Eyes deck list, it's probably better to keep it rather cheap. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I get to the deck list, if you're enjoying today's video and see more content just like this in the future, especially if you're a returning viewer, as apparently about 50% of the people watching this are not even subscribed to the channel, then nearly all of you are returning viewers who have seen my stuff before. So if you find yourself keep coming back to the channel and see more content just like this in the future, remember to hit that like button down below and consider subscribing to the channel. Alright, let's get into the deck list. So first things first, I do have to briefly mention that obviously if you're looking for a deck to climb up the rank ladder rather quickly, go all the way up to Diamond 1, I cannot recommend this deck list. Maybe at lower ranks this deck list will climb rather quickly, easily get you into like top platinum or something like that, but especially in Diamond, you're going to struggle with this deck list. It's not exactly the best. I did actually manage to climb to Diamond 4 from Diamond 5 with this deck list, so it is possible to climb with it, but it's going to take you way more games than just playing any other standard meta deck list or even just a rogue tier deck list, so I can't recommend it for that purpose. In saying that though, this deck list is rather fun, and if you are a Blue Eyes enthusiast and have always wanted to build a Blue Eyes deck list, but haven't wanted to spend your entire life savings or sell your nan, you can always just invest into this one because, as you can probably see, this deck list is extraordinarily cheap. The only ultra rares in this deck list you generally have to go for is your bingo machine and whatever amount of lightning storms you're wanting to run. In this case I'm running 3, but you don't generally have to, it's just 3 is generally the best for a deck list like this one that's trying to clear your opponent's field and clear your opponent's back row. The only other ultra rare in this deck list you might have to craft is going to be your Harpie's Feather Duster, but most people watching this probably already have this card considering it's one of the most popular cards in the game, but if you don't, you can swap it out for a Twin Twister or something. It doesn't particularly matter that much, it's just obviously this card's going to be the better option or the better alternative. Other than that, the Raigeki, get it from story mode, the Blue Eyes, get from one of the starting structure decks I'm pretty sure, and you can even get one of the Lightning Storms from one of the sales, so this deck list obviously extraordinarily cheap. And to top it all off, there's no extra deck. 0 extra deck, making this deck list very, 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 very cheap. Now if you're hoping for a deck list that takes a lot of brain cell, I'm sorry to tell you, you're gonna be in the wrong place. This deck list is the most low IQ, ooga booga shit you'll ever see. It's got one game plan, and one game plan only. Resolve your rage with Eyes of Blue. This card, banish this card and as many cards as possible from your hand, field, and graveyard face down. If you do, special summon up to 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. You cannot normal or special summon monster the turn you activate this card, except Blue Eyes White Dragon. So basically, you activate this card, get rid of everything in your hand, banish your entire graveyard, essentially just going completely all in, but you get 3 copies of Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field instantly, which obviously totals up to 9,000 damage, leading to an easy OTK, if your opponent has no monsters on the field. So we run Raigeki, we run Dark Hole, we run Lightning Vortex, Lightning Storm. We have all these kind of monster removal or just board wiping cards that just makes it really hard for your opponent to try to survive unless they have a shit ton of negates or monsters that just happen to be immune to destruction effects. As for the rest of the list, it's basically going to be cards you'd expect to see, stuff like back row removal like Harpie's Feather Duster or Hey Trunade, or consistency boosting cards or draw cards like Into the Void, your Dark World dealings, or things like Bingo Machine that can search for your rage, or even your Left Arm Offering which can also search for your rage. This deck list isn't exactly the most advanced deck list on the planet, but there is one more thing I want to quickly mention with it before we move on to the gameplay, and that is with your rage. Your Rage, unfortunately, can only summon your Blue Eyes White Dragons straight from the deck. So if you unluckily open them in your starting hand, it can be kind of annoying because you won't have your OTK then. Which is why I run 3 copies of Reload and 3 copies of Magical Mallet, both of which can put this Blue Eyes straight back in the deck, so of course your combo won't get completely screwed. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the deck list portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing this deck list in action, and without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, let's get into the replays. So today I have 6 replays to show you guys, all of which were taken in Diamond, and all of which were taken against some of the more prominent deck lists in the game, other than this first one, which I think was Dark Magician. The rest of them were all pretty damn spicy replays, so I think you guys will enjoy them. Alright. So I did climb from Diamond 5 to Diamond 4 with this deck list, but like I mentioned, if you're looking for a deck list to climb with, don't play this one. It's not going to be the fastest climb. I think all the replays I'm going to be showing you today were taken in Diamond 5 because it took a goddamn long time to get into Diamond 4, so don't be playing this deck list to climb. Alright, so first up we had Dark Magician, which is not exactly the most scary deck list to play against, especially when you have a Lightning Storm in hand. Alright. Setting 1 card and passing. So first thing we do, I think, is activate Hey Trunade, making him activate his card in response, his Eternal Soul. But from there, we can just activate Lightning Storm, and because we actually already opened the Rage, we don't even have to search for it. I did draw a card though, just because I can. Activate my Dark World dealings. This is because I was trying to bait for an Ash Blossom, because I could have activated this straight away, but wanted to see if he had a reaction to it or something. Activate my Rage. Banishing everything, summon out my Blue Eyes. And with 3 Blue Eyes on the field, yeah, he's very, very dead. Alright. On to replay number 2, which I think was Sword Soul. I think. I got quite a few Sword Soul gameplays today to show you guys. For some reason, there was a lot of Sword Soul players around. I feel like the only deck I struggled quite a bit against, I think, was Flunderies. That's purely because their trap card is really annoying to deal with, to get hold of enough like board wiping stuff and back row wiping stuff, and then another lot of board wiping stuff. There's too much stuff to deal with in Flunders. Especially considering they have a negate as well, it's painful. But Sword Soul, on the other hand, they generally only have 1 negate you need to deal with, and then you just kind of board wipe them, they lose, so... Alright. So dude's doing the standard Sword Soul stuff. Didn't even summon Baron to floor, the nice guy, so you don't have to worry about any negates this time. I think I have to worry about the... Actually, this has a spell and trap card negate, I think I lied. Either way. Either way, I think he just searches for his trap card. Alright. Adds the trap card. Oh no, must already have it in hand, I guess. Set the trap card and passes back. So I have plenty of ways to deal with this. First thing I do, Hey Trunade. Now I have a Lightning Storm or a Dark Hole. I'm going to use the more harder one to get off because they're in attack position and get that one negated. That way I have the good old Dark Hole to remove the entire field. Now activate Magical Mallet first. Oh, wait, that card doesn't even negate? Wait, I forgot. The card didn't even negate, it just fucking destroys it. Never mind. Didn't even need to use it, so I'm going to shuffle into the deck. That was, again, trying to bait out Ash Blossoms. Magical Mallet, your opponent can Ash Blossom it, so trying to bait it out. If he does, then I can activate my Left Arm Offering for free. Adding the Rage to hand. And you know what happens next. Banishing all the stuff, summoning out 3 animations worth of Blue Eyes. I kind of wish there were alt arts of Blue Eyes in this game. I'd love to have 3 different alt arts for this card. That'd be so damn dope. And he just conceded before I even got to hit him. Alright, on to replay number 3. Yeah, I forgot that Sword Soul card doesn't even negate. It just destroys, right? What an odd card. Yeah, I should probably definitely summon Baron to floor over that one, guys. Just a heads up. Alright. I want this board, it's actually dope. Alright. So we're against a Sky Striker this time. Now Sky Striker's kind of annoying to deal with, because obviously they have a monster that when you destroy that Link monster on the field, it will resurrect itself to the field, and then you have to destroy that, and once again it will try to link off to go into another Sky Striker card, and it's really annoying to deal with. So you generally need a couple of board wipes to deal with it. And obviously back row removal as well helps, so. Alright. Into the void again. Use my mallet. There's the Ash Blossom bait. Naisu, Dark Hole Dealings, draw, discard. Dark Hole, popping his monster, it brings out the little dude. Activating my Lightning Storm. Discarding, leaving only the Bingo Machine left. But that's fine, because Bingo Machine is now going to give us 3 copies of this card, or reveal 3 of them to my opponent. He chooses one of them, I add it to my hand. Rage sums out all the boys. Alright, and he can seize before the 3 boys come out. His back row must be completely worthless, thankfully. Alright, next up. There's a really good Sword Soul gameplay in here I want to show you guys. Because the one I got extremely lucky on, which made it look really awesome. Alright. So this is one of those hands where you notice I opened the Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is really bad. But thankfully, we have Magical Mallet, so we have a way to put it back into the deck so we don't lose. Alright, Case to Kill, gonna bring back the dude. You guys know how this deck list works. Goes to Lever, brings back the Link. So we make out the Link 4. And I believe this guy then set a shit ton of back row. Yep, setting a bunch of back row and passing back to me. Drawing Hand Destruction, just use Into the Void. Drawing the perfect card we need to get rid of that back row. He does have this card, which I don't even know what it does because I didn't use it in my list. I think it's very uncommon it's used. Has some kind of effect that might have been annoying, but I didn't use it, so it didn't matter. Into the Void, drawing into another Mallet. Using the Mallet, putting the card back in the deck list. And drawing into our search card. So now we're set now. Pop his monster, left arm offerings, discard the 2 cards to search for your Rage. And from here, you know what happens. Out comes the gang. Now just imagine actual alt arts all their own animation. There's so many alt arts of Blue Eyes in the TCG. Come on, Konami. I'm not even that much of a fan of Blue Eyes, but just playing that in this deck list would be so fun. Because you don't often get 3 normal copies of Blue Eyes on the field, you know? Alright. You're up to Nick, right? I think this was the really good Sword Soul gameplay. This is definitely my favorite of the bunch. Alright. I really do need to get myself a field. Alright, so he's going to do typical Sword Soul stuff. We will fast forward this a little bit because we know what he's doing. Actually has the adventurous stuff as well. I don't think he ends it on Griffin though, as far as I remember. So it goes into his dude. Draws a card, gets a hold of his strategist. Strategist discard, summons itself, blah blah blah. I think this guy actually does go into Baron. The card you're meant to be going into. Burns me for a bit. Gets a search for his Enchantress. And I think just passes the turn from there. Oh yeah, and so the trap card as well. Alright. So we're going to activate our Raigeki, destroying his monsters. He's going to activate Baron the Flood and negate it. This now frees up our Lightning Storm at least, to try to remove his monsters. We can also get rid of his annoying back row card, whatever it is. Probably going to be the thing that normally pops worms. That's actually an imperm. Lightning Storm, pop away these monsters. Bingo Machine. He Ash Blossomed this, which was very scary, because obviously Ash Blossoming this meant that, oh, I have only 1 chance to get a hold of my thing now, and it's just from the reload, I have to reload into the void to get a hold of our Rage. So reload, I'm going to shuffle this 1 copy of Into the Void in, because we have 1 shot at this. Easiest draw of my life. God knows what the percentage chance that one was. We had 34 cards left. Jeez. Alright. And out comes the boys. My boy Pawn Nick over here, not very happy with that result. Definitely a tilt to that one. And he's gone. Alright. So I probably should have saved that replay till last, because I'm pretty sure the final replay is very uneventful. I think this is the back row guy. I don't even think we actually saw my card fully resolve here. I think this was a conceder. But I think I want to show myself dicking a full back row board anyway. Alright, opening Dark Hole, opening Rage. Actually one of the more perfect hands you can get. No baits for Ash Blossom though. The full set pass. Which can be kind of annoying because your two of your board wiping cards have to be either on attack position monsters or cards that are face up. So drawing Raigeki and Dark Hole is the only way you deal with face downs. Hey Trunade, getting rid of the back row. Activate Dark Hole, getting rid of the board. Banger animation for Dark Hole. Does a bit of burn damage, nice. I assume this is like some shitty burn deck actually. And he concedes before my boys come out. Alright guys, that's it for today's deck list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.